Welcome to the call. We are doing weekly coaching calls every Thursday with the community of First Agent Hub, and we're going to be bringing different topics for discussion. The way I like to, work with coaching calls is, it's a lot of interaction. So I want to be there for you, and Sherry, I'm here for you to answer your direct questions in real time. And all these calls are going to be recorded. So if you can't make the Thursday call, we'll be able to post that call on there. But first of all, I just want to say thank you for everyone to be here. And today's topic is we're going to be talking about the NAR settlement and what that means. And more importantly, because there's tons of information on the NAR settlement, I would first say is be careful where you get all the information. I think the news was a little outrageous where they're putting fear out into the world. So my goal today, and we're going to run through an exercise, is number one, we're going to talk about the NAR settlement, right? We're going to be transparent. We're going to talk about it. What does it mean? What is it? How's it going to impact us? Number two, we are going to be working on our most important asset, our mind and our heart, on how our mindset, what's our take on the NAR settlement. And my goal for everyone on today's coaching call is to really break through on the other end of this NAR settlement is new. Change is always a little scary. My goal for everyone at the end of this call is to take this big elephant that people don't know about or people are scared about, and I'm going to actually break it down where right now, if you look at the big elephant and maybe you feel fear, uncertainty, just I'm nervous, anxiety. My goal for the end of this call is to make you look at that elephant, and now that elephant has turned pink because now you're looking at that elephant as an amazing opportunity. And so now those feelings are going to be excitement, joy, happiness, eagerness. So that is my goal, and I like to be crystal clear on the goal for today's call. So are you guys ready? Let's do it. Okay. So first of all, if you haven't heard in the news, there was a massive NAR settlement that is ultimately going to be, changing the way business is being done for real estate agents here in our state of Florida, as among other states. The things that we need to know about, and I don't want to get too into like all the nitty gritty of the settlement and all that kind of stuff. I want to break this out so that it's simple. And I like to make the complex simple. Real estate is a complex business. Let's make it simple. How do you feel about that, Sherry? Nope.
I feel good about that. I think
That's
it's
awesome.
important because along with you, I don't feel that, all the details were provided. It was
Right.
really it really felt one-sided, and I think there's
Yep.
more to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's been a lot of people that, look at this. There's been people that have been in the business for 40, 50 years. There's people that have been in business for 10 plus years. There's people that just got their license just the other day, and they're into this business. I can share with you that my career in real estate I would say real estate is one of the most fulfilling careers to be in. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And the way I say that is I love coming from contribution and the responsibility of the agent that, we are helping people navigate one of the most complex transactions of their life.
Yeah.
Seriously, real estate, the transfer of real estate, more likely than not, is involved in the process of somebody's major life event that's happening. That it's not the what that makes real estate so amazing. It's not that, hey, we get to sell houses, we get to help people this. It's the why. We get to take a very, very complex transaction and we get to be right there by our client's side. I mean, you guys made a massive move, down south. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
we
big deal,
did.
you're moving your
Yeah.
entire life, but it's the
Yeah.
why that we get to be the person that is able to stand by our clients and help them on one of the
Mhm.
biggest life changes that they have. That's number one, biggest life changes, because real
Yeah.
estate happens when there's a life change. Number two, why this is so important is We get to help them with one of the biggest financial transactions that they have to undergo in the context within the world of them going through a life change. So if you ask me why I do real estate and why I have so much respect for real estate agents, it's because they are the ones that are, I mean, are really stepping up and helping people and have that opportunity to assist people at
Absolutely.
such an important part of their life. So at the end of the day, and I want to break this out, the end of the day, you become part of their story. How
You do.
beautiful. I just got
You
goosebumps.
are.
Just got
Oh,
goosebumps again. I,
me too.
I, we get to be part of their history. So guys, I want to share, I do this event every year and I absolutely love it. So I've been doing a mini photo shoot for my clients every single year. And it's the coolest thing ever. We have a couple photographers out. We have a spot that we take pictures and we invite them in. One of the greatest things about it is I see the clients. I offer a mini photo shoot as an appreciation to my clients. They come out, they get their photos done. It's done in October. It's perfect timing for them to get their Christmas cards and all that kind of stuff, gets the family together. What's so cool, what I love about this event so much, doing a mini photo shoot client appreciation event, is I get to see my clients every single year as part of their story. I get to see their story unfold. We had new babies last year. We had new
Aw.
marriages last year. We have the kids are getting bigger, like just cool stuff. And we get to be part of
Yeah.
their story. So that's number one. I probably went too long on that, but I wanted to share how important what we do is of being part of people's story. And I want to share with you why I'm so passionate about helping people at such a high level with First Agent Hub. And because I have so much respect for agents out there and I have respect for the industry, I have that respect for the role, the important role of the agent itself. So let's go ahead and jump in. We're talking about NAR, right? Okay, so if you haven't seen it, so there's two big takeaways from the NAR settlement. Again, there's still some things that are unknown, but there's two major takeaways. Number one is we have the commissions cannot necessarily be visible through that MLS system. That's the number one change is they are not going to be agents will not be able to see what commission is being offered through the internal MLS. The reason for that is transparency. I'm all for it, all transparency. So now buyers will have, more transparency throughout the process. So that's number one. The MLS will not be able to, be able to have that display field for the commissions, the buyer's agent cooperating commissions on MLS. The second one, which I believe is more important, and the one I'm actually super excited about, is the fact that buyers now, it's going to be required that buyers are going to have a buyer representation agreement signed. So an agent and a buyer will have to have a signed agreement prior to showing a house. That is the knowledge, that is the information that we have received so far. That's a game changer. And I've heard a lot of fear out in the marketplace from other agents, and that we've talked about is, oh my gosh, the old way of doing things is you have a listing up, or you'd say you have an ad on some platform that you have this house, and a buyer calls you and says, hey, Sherry, I want to go see 123 Main Street. Let's go. I want to get out there this afternoon. Sherry, you're all excited. Hey, a buyer called on my ad. I want to get out there and show them the property. Us as agents would go out there and, typically would go out and show that property. Well, that changes now. What that means is there's no just popping out of properties to see them. As a real estate professional, if you get a call, if you're a buyer's agent, if you get a call and they want to go see a property, guess what? We're going to need to have a buyer representation agreement signed with the buyer prior to being able to go show that property. Now, so I've talked with agents all over the nation. I'm in masterminds, and this isn't new news to a lot of the states out there. This isn't new news. It's been happening for a while. So those are the two big things. Let me ask you, I want to ask Sherry really quick. What is your take on the NAR settlement? What have you heard as far as like what are some of the fears that you may or may not have about
Um,
that?
A few of the similar things. So really that was probably one of the biggest things is that they were saying, the seller is not going to be held accountable or responsible for paying the buyer's agent for not doing work, for not
Right.
doing anything and et cetera, et cetera. And that the buyers, the fear of the buyers having the additional funds to pay,
Sure.
to pay that or to negotiate that. Well, then the other side of it is that's in some arenas that is a negotiated
Mhm.
term, that it's
Sure.
not a given.
Right.
So it's not a given that the buyer's agent's going to get nothing, or
Sure.
that the buyer has to pay it, but it could come down to some different and creative negotiation.
Yep.
So I think for me, uh, um, with all the years I spent on the mortgage, title,
Mhm.
escrow, closing side of the transaction, to now be on this side of it is super exciting because, I know that financial
Sure.
fiduciary side.
Yep.
And so I really want to understand all of what the NAR settlement
Oh,
is going to entail,
sure.
because I think it will impact, but I don't think they really know exactly how it's going to impact
Right.
fully.
Right. I would agree. It's a fluid process. Machek, I want to come to you. You got to unmute yourself.
Yep, I got it. Thanks for mentioning this and letting me talk here. So, what I'm seeing is, just as a listing agent, we have the two hats, right? Listing agents, buyers agents. As a listing
Right.
agent, if let's just say I was, a cold caller all day long, never show buyers, right? Let's just say that's my
Right.
business model. We know a few people like that, right? And if I get that call saying, "Hey, I saw your sign, I want to go take a look," I'm willing to sign a, one listing showing. I'm going to say, not with me though, because
Mhm.
I'm a listing agent. I'm not even going to open the door. Now, what what fiduciary responsibility do I have to my seller, who I am their principal, right? Or they're my principal. So I am committed to them and to reach their goal, but
Mhm.
that's just not what I do. I don't open
Right.
doors for people, right? Now I'm not this person myself, but I wish to be, right? Like I,
Right.
I aspire to be that person. So there is the component of obligations, legal
Mhm.
obligations, that a listing agent is going to have. The second thing is, a lot of buyers are going to be, especially on the lower priced stuff, they just don't have the 3% to pay. And sometimes you take a listing that it just says, "Hey, we're paying 3 and that's that." And I'm not going to be willing to negotiate my fee
Mhm.
to basically get someone else in and waste all that time. And now I become a transaction broker, which is not what my client signed up for. Because part of my
Mhm.
listing pitch is, I'm not a transaction broker. I am a single agent. You get the highest level of, that's like what I say. You get the
I love it.
highest level of
Sure.
representation, and 90% of Sarasota and Manatee County's brokerages are transaction brokerages. That means that their best interest lies in the transaction itself, not in making you win. But since I
Right.
love negotiating and fighting with people for some reason, I'm here to fight for you. That's what you're paying me for. And
I
that's my
I would want
pitch.
I would want you on my side, Machek. I'd want you on my side, and our clients deserve to have somebody on their side advocating for them. So I totally agree. So I want to do an exercise right now. And I want to like I want to just hey, before we get into the nitty-gritty of the NAR settlement, that's not necessarily the purpose of this call, because I agree with both you and Sherry and Machek and Mary. I believe that the process is fluid and that more information is going to be rolling out. So it's a fluid process. How are they going to be handling that? Time will tell. And so but we
Yeah.
will not avoid anything. We are going to still be out there doing our work, doing our business, but we are going to be there. What I want to work on today specifically is I want to show you a model. I want to show you a model because anytime there's change, there's typically fear. All right. So I want to work through a model of how we can actually overcome that. You may or may not agree with me, but let me just say, from the people that I've spoken to, I the other agents out there, the professionals out there, just a lot of people, there's a lot of uncertainty and fear around how the NAR settlement and the new rules is going to impact their business, their livelihood. How are they going to do business? Would you agree with that? Shake your head, yes or no. Yes. Okay. I would think everybody would agree that there is some fear. So anytime we have change in our lives, and what I love about coaching around this is we're going to be talking about the NAR settlement and real estate and working with buyers. However, you can use this process in anything in your life. So step number one, I always say clarity is power. Step number one is awareness. Because it's out there, our brains, we hear things, we're receiving different information, we're receiving stuff on our phone, like new information. Oh my gosh, this, we're reading news, we're getting information from so many different places. We have to become aware of what we're actually afraid of. Like, what are we actually fearing with the changes that are coming down in our industry? So let's name off three fears. Sherry or Machek? Or Mary?
Would there
Well,
be a fear of people not wanting to be a buyer's agent?
A fear of people not wanting to be a fear of, as an agent, putting my agent hat on, a fear that they just don't want to work with buyers. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Like, would it be a deterrent because, the whole commission thing is
Yeah,
unknown and not transparent? I mean,
got it.
and, how would that affect buyers,
Sure. Yeah, that's a fear. So what I'm hearing is that the fear could be that there's going to be limited opportunities for agents to excel in this business. Is that fair
Maybe.
to summarize like that? Because, well, before I worked with buyers, before I worked with sellers, but now because of all these changes, I'm nervous about working with buyers and all this stuff. That's a limited opportunity. So our options to success will be limited. Is that like is that pretty
Yeah,
solid?
that's a good, yeah.
So our options to success, I'm writing this down, are limited. Machek, what would you say is an
um,
overarching fear of changes of this NAR thing to agents in the agent's mind?
um, first, I have two things. First is the fear that now you were a buyer's agent because you don't do well with rejection, and you're going to have the fear of rejection from I work for 3%, right? Or I work for whatever percent from that conversation. So now that's the same conversation listing agents have, and many lose listing agreements because they're not willing to negotiate on that, right? So now we're going to have
Mhm.
that, and we will lose some people that just
Mhm.
literally don't have the money. The second fear is a long-term fear of experienced agents, of representation on a national level, because we just they asked for a hand, we gave them like both arms, right? We lost the lawsuit and we just gave away both arms. So what's next, right? Who else is going to start chipping away at this paraplegic now walking around? And let's pick on this person, meaning all agents in the nation. And where will it stop? Because people will drop out of NAR, and the funding, unless they contribute to RPAC, the funding will go down significantly for lobbying business. And this is just how business is done. So the experienced long-term people might be wondering, uh-oh, are all agents going down, especially with AI coming in too? That's a different conversation, but it's all kind of accumulating, accumulating together. It's all happening at once, and it's just like, jab, 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 right hook. This is the right hook that we just got, and now we're down. What else?
Okay.
Sorry, I
Okay.
said a lot there.
No, no, that's awesome. That's awesome, Ajay. You are right. Let me repeat what you said because this is an important part. This is step one. And it's wonderful. Like I love this. We're actually having a conversation, bringing our fears to light. Number one, fear from agents for that agents may have is that options to succeed may be limited. Like, hey, a lot of people are successful in real estate, but now because of this, the availability of success or the options to be able the opportunity to succeed is limited now because of what I wanted, because of the things. And so that's a limitation. Machek brought up two great points. Number one, there's a fear that I might lose clients or perhaps not have enough clients to work with to be able to be successful in real estate. Is that fair? Is that a good summary for that? And then the third one, the is more the industry fear of, the fear that, gosh, this big lawsuit, it's made waves, it's shook the real estate industry, that, this could be the start, especially with the fear of AI and technology and all that kind of stuff, that our career, our industry of choice as being professional real estate agents has actually is at jeopardy. Like, there just might not be a spot for that. Is that a fair summation of our fears? Cool, cool. So let's go ahead and I want to move on to step two. So step two is challenge. Now that we've gotten clarity around what the real fears are behind, like, a lot of fears are going to be different for different people, but we're just broadening this down. Now we're going to actually challenge those. Okay. So I want to go ahead and challenge each one of these fears. Number one, is it really true that the opportunities to succeed in real estate are going to diminish?
I don't think so.
I agree, Sherry. Why?
I think the demand is so high. You're always going to have people selling, people wanting to buy, people needing to sell, wanting to sell. I think that it's a full circle process, right? There's
Mhm.
two sides to it.
Right.
And um I think it may just bring an opportunity to be part of the other side of it.
I agree. I agree with you. Sherry, the opportunities to succeed in real estate, if we're challenging that, hey, it's going to be limited, I believe that is not true, and I agree with you challenging that. People are always going to
Yeah.
need a roof over their head. People always need representation. People always need someone helping them navigate
Mhm.
one of the biggest processes. People are not stop. They're still moving to Florida. They're still moving. They're buying. They're being relocated. People are having kids. Like, it's not going to stop the massive momentum of life moving forward. I can
No.
guarantee you, people always need a roof over their head. So,
Mhm.
you think that we've successfully challenged that belief?
I
The
think so
old the
because
old limited
also,
belief.
yeah, because circumstances change, right? I mean, people get married, people move, relocate. There's so many different life happens. And I think, every chapter and every stage needs to be filled. And, as you move through that, um, I think you're there to help with whatever that need is.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm going to actually restate, since we've now challenged this, is just so we're on the same page. Our old limiting belief, our old fear about the whole NAR settlement, how it impacts us, is the options to succeed are going to be limited. But we've just challenged that. So we've just challenged that. That's saying the opportunities for success in real estate are actually growing. Would you agree that they're still building communities? They're still building commercial. People are still moving. People are still having children. I mean, come on. Like, opportunities to succeed in real estate are
Yeah.
growing. Our population is growing. So we've just completely knocked out that first limiting belief out of the park. Would you agree with me? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Can I add
Well,
one little thing to that?
yeah, please.
I think that there's going to be less people entering into the business. And over time, we will have more transactions per agent. I actually think it's the opposite of that's what's going to happen. We're going to
Wow.
have more opportunities because
Yep.
of the fear and the whole scare of the news.
You
I
think it
love
will deter
that.
them from becoming agents, right?
Yeah. So here's a
Yeah.
really cool, I want to identify a component of what Maciek just said, because it was actually really good. The overarching fear when we talk about our business as agents and stuff, we're kind of like grouping ourselves as like, oh my gosh, all agents, we All agents are going to be hurt. The options for success for the majority of agents are going to be hurt. But we're not talking about everybody, guys. We're talking about you that are on this call, you that are having these conversations. So, Machek, I agree with you 100%. The
Mhm.
opportunities for you, Machek, are going to increase. The opportunities for Mary are going to increase. The opportunities for Sherry are absolutely going to increase. So we've completely defunct that old limiting belief. Thank you for that contribution. I want to hit one number. Let's challenge the second one Machek had. We're going to lose clients. Buyers, aren't going to want to commit to us. We're not going to have as many buyers to work for. That's pretty much what our old limiting belief was. Is that correct? Okay. So let's challenge that. Let's just have fun with this. So, buyers aren't going to be wanting to work with us. We're going to be losing clients. Let me ask you a question real quick. Lawcheck, you've been in this business for a long time. How many buyers do you think that you've been, in general, have been working with that maybe haven't bought, that you've had a conversation with, that you coursed with, haven't purchased something?
Well, numbers wise, I have no idea. Percentage wise, I'd
Yeah,
probably
percentage.
say, circumstances change eventually, or a cheat happens, like they cheat on me. Um,
Yep.
Maybe 30% of the time or so. I
So
don't know truly, but maybe
yeah.
something like that.
Okay, so you're saying 30% of the time. So if you're working with 10 buyers, 30% of those buyers will not move forward and actually buying a house. Did I
Will
get that right or is
uh,
it backward? Or 70% won't?
will 70% will, 30% won't either buy a house or won't use me when they do.
Got it.
Because but
Perfect.
more so I think I see the first one is they just say, oh my gosh, I'm getting priced out, oh the
Mm-hmm.
interest rates are this, or
Sure.
a health scare or something else.
Understood. So what Machek's saying, I'm just going to summarize it, is that he's saying out of 10 buyers he's working with, he's saying three of them won't ultimately buy a house. Now, Machek is a very experienced agent that I've known for a very, very long time, who is a very, very stellar professional agent that only chooses to work with certain people. So he's saying that 30%, typically, if you're, three out of the 10 buyers aren't going to buy a house that you're working with. For the mass majority of everyone, like that's a great percentage. That's a really great percentage. And I believe that about Machek. For the mass majority of agents out there, I think it's vice versa. I think if people are working with 10 buyers, I think maybe seven of them are just not making a decision within that 12 months or just not making a decision. But let's use Machek's example. So the old fear is you're going to be losing clients. Machek is 70% of his clients are converting to sales. 70%. We already know that, right? Because Machek just told us 7 out of 10 buyers are going to be closing on some sort of property already. So Machek, let me ask you, with the NAR changes, I love doing this. With the NAR changes, how are the seven, will you be selling less out of those 10 buyers? Or is there a possibility that the other three buyers, there's going to be circumstances that prevent people from being able to move forward and stuff. But are you personally, with your odds, going to be selling less homes? Because we already know you're converting 70%, which tells us that obviously people are committed to you for what you do and what you provide. Answer that.
Yeah, I
Would you really
I
be?
think I am not going to be selling less homes. I'm
Yeah.
going to have a higher percentage because I think those three that that 3 out of 10 that don't are
Mhm.
probably going to get filtered up front a lot faster than me spending
Interesting.
time. Yeah,
Interesting. So
yeah.
is it fair to say that whereas, out of 100% of you're working with buyers, 30% of them don't buy anything anyway. But now with the NAR changes, you're going to be filtering out those people in addition. So now your odds of selling houses, are you saying they would actually go up?
The percentage will go
The
up,
percentage will go
you know.
up. And not to mention, the time allocated, the money spent, the time that you've extended working with those 30% is going away. How do you feel that's going to impact your ability to lead generate and work with new clients?
I love it. I love it.
You know what I'm
I'm
talking
gonna sell
about?
more.
You're going to be absolutely selling more. Sherry, do you get what I just said?
Oh yeah, definitely,
Okay.
because they're gonna have to commit prior to showing.
You're
And
going to be,
then there's gonna have to be a bigger commitment on the buyer side to know upfront.
yes. So here I want to make this. Maciek, you're experienced, you're amazing at what you do, but I just want to recap this scenario because it's so important. I want this to hit home. Let's just say the opposite, okay? Let's say for the average Joe agent, Joe, Susie, Sally agent, that the average agent is converting 30% of the buyers into contracts. Let's say the average. I'm doing opposite of what Maciek. That means 70% of their time, energy, and allocation into their work of working with buyers is going nowhere. It's not converting into contracts, only 30%. Machek's opportunity for growth, since he already does this, is a 30% increase of being able to increase his business of working with ready, willing, and able buyers that actually close on a property. For the average agent out there, whether you're new, been in business for a year, if your current conversion rate, if out of 10 buyers that you've talked to, that you're working with typically are converting into actual sales, take away the 70% of the wasted time and putting all that energy into capturing new clients, providing better service. Do you see at which the scale of your business is going to expand from that perspective? You're going to have 70% more time to be able to capture good buyers. And now they're going to be in an agreement with you and they're committed to you and you're committed to them. The opportunity, the old fear of we're losing clients, completely a disbelief. That's completely not true. The truth is we are going to have so much more time working with buyers that are committed to us that are actually going to help, actually going to move forward to close property, which is awesome. That was just like a light bulb in my head. That got me really excited. Are you guys excited?
Yeah.
I want to make sure you're following along. Okay. Last
This
time.
is great. I love it.
Good, Vonchek. I appreciate it. Okay. So we're dispelling beliefs, right? So the old belief is I'm going to be losing clients. Obviously, we've challenged that. The new belief is, God, we're going to have more time to work with better clients, ultimately closing more homes. Awesome. Let's go ahead. We're only on step 2, guys. This call's going fast. I'm having so much fun. I love doing this. The third limiting belief, the induction of fear in the industry, that the real estate agent career, like you said, Maciek, could fall. We got AI, we got technology, we got all this stuff happening. The existence of the professional real estate agent is not going to exist. That was our old limiting belief. Is that right? All right. Now that we've kind of worked through this process, I think you're with me with regards to, is that really true? In light of everything that we're talking, knowing this is somebody's life event, one of the most complex transactions, very emotional, will the will um the need or the demand of people, of buyers wanting to work with a professional agent, is that actually going to go up or go down?
Well, I think I think the concern was a little more about the entire industry
Mm-hmm.
existing the way it does,
Mm-hmm.
protecting the agents through lobbying powers.
Okay.
And if it goes to the wrong side, like we just recently got hit,
Mm-hmm.
then less people will be going into the industry because there's going to
Mm-hmm.
be less reason to, because there's just be all the news, all the bad news.
Understood.
Which maybe means the good, the like step 2 or whatever it is. Maybe that means that there's just going to be less agents, and that
Okay.
means that there's still going to be the same amount of babies being born, immigration happening,
Mhm.
people, downsizing and upsizing, and investors investing,
Yep.
but
So I
less agents.
got it. So less agent, but the fear. So let me ask you something. So now you've narrowed down the fear to there because of the changes and you said sides and stuff like that. There's going to be less people advocating for us. Our industry, our career will go down. Let me ask you something. How does that impact Machek? Because you keep talking about everybody, but I'm not talking about everybody. I'm talking about you, man. You just said
I,
it.
I can't think, I can't think of any way it actually impacts me.
I think I agree. I actually think that the way it is going to impact you is what you just said. There may be less agents in the business, but the agents that are in the business are going to have more opportunity to be working with buyers. Would you agree that we've dispelled that belief, that old limiting belief?
Yeah, yeah.
I want to bring one point to light. Machek actually brought it up again. Sometimes fear that, and there's, especially in industry changes and when there's waves, sometimes fear, we as people, when we think about it up here, our minds, they generalize things, right? They distort things, right? Our minds are like, oh my gosh, the industry, all this, it's going to change. And we're putting ourselves as that person, as everyone. A big takeaway from this call that I want you guys to hear from me right now is that I'm not talking about everybody. I'm talking about you. I'm focusing on you. And you are the ones that are here having this coaching call and being a part of this. Like we said, Machek, whatever happens with the industry that's going to impact everybody in the industry, why be so worried about that when I'm actually only talking about Machek? And I don't want you to hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that we don't care about the agents in general. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that the opportunity is so bright, open, and possible and exciting for agents that really want to step in to their greatness in real estate, in the industry of real estate. In the old belief that, gosh, there's not going to be a need for that professional agent. We can't look at things in a broad way and just generalize ourselves in the industry. We got to focus in on here. That's how we get in trouble, is we're focusing all out there. So with Machek, how you said that, I do believe that in light of the NAR changes, and yes, it's going to have an impact in the industry, but why are we focusing on the weather in the entire United States when we need to be really focusing on the weather right above Machek's head right now? That's how we get in trouble. So my big takeaway for this is, guys, I want you to not get so lost and caught up in what's happening massively. It's good to be able to be in the know and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to fear and emotions and generalizing all that kind of stuff, you have to be careful because it's truly what's happening here. So we got, gosh, 10 minutes left in this call. I want to kind of bring up the last section really quick. Is I want to confirm our new beliefs. We challenged each and every single one of those, and we've come up with new beliefs. So the options, what we found, the opportunities to succeed in real estate for you and for you and for you and for you, the opportunities are actually going to be going through the roof because populations are growing. We're going to have more opportunities. There's going to be probably less agents in the marketplace to compete with. There's going to be more of a need for people to want help working, navigating one of the most complex transactions, right? So we've rewritten that. The opportunities to succeed are endless. And I believe based on the NAR whole situation, the opportunities to succeed are going to be growing and expanding. The second one, we said we were going to, our disbelief, our limiting belief was we were going to lose clients. Lose clients because people aren't going to work with us. They aren't going to want to sign and commit, to have a buyer's agent represent them. They're just not going to. We have disbelieved, we have countered that belief. We challenged that belief by saying The truth is, based on the percentages of who converts from people we're working with to actual buyers that are going to convert into contracts, that's actually going to get better because we aren't going to be spending a ton of time working with people that aren't committed to us. Have we successfully challenged that belief? So that the
I
third step is, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, Andrew, I think it really challenges that and confirms that, because with the new agreement that they're going to have to sign prior to showing, it's
Mhm.
going to make them committed and to you and know that they are, and they can't go and cheat on you with someone else,
That's
right? Like
correct. Yep.
you're you're already they're committing to you.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a big step.
I agree. And I believe I agree with that. And then also what the opportunity of signing that agreement now provides. It provides a true opportunity to do a real buyer's consultation where you can have a one-on-one with a client, really find out
Yeah,
what they're interested in. So the old added belief, the old negative limiting belief that we're going to be losing clients, the truth is you're actually going to be gaining more amazing clients that are more committed to you. That's the truth, that are more qualified as well. Would you agree? Because we're
I would
qualifying
think.
them. The last one was the fear that how the NAR settlement kind of went down, and it's how it's, it could potentially really hurt the profession of real estate agency, all of that was a big fear. We've actually dispelled that because the truth is the great agents are going to rise and become better agents. There is going to be more opportunity. There's going to be buyers that are going to need representation, and there will be less competition. And we also dispelled that in regards to we're not generalizing ourselves with the big population of like the 1.3 million agents in the United States. I'm focusing on Machek. I'm focusing on Sherry. I'm focusing on Mary. I'm focusing on Orly. I'm literally, you got to be really careful to make sure you look at this from your model of the world. How does this impact me? Stop grouping yourself in with everybody else. How it's going to impact me is, guess what? I'll tell you on every single one of these. My opportunities to succeed in this industry are going to get better. Lose clients? No way. Clients I'm going to be working with are going to be more committed to me, more qualified, and we're doing a buyer's consultation before we sign that agreement. I'm going to be showing them less property. I'm going to buy back 70% of my week because I'm not showing property to people that are not committed to me and things that they don't want. And number three, our industry, I believe our industry as professionals in real estate is going to get stronger and better because we are required, we're raising the standard in our industry. Thank goodness we're doing that. That transparency, which that was the big argument. Transparency is there. We sign agreement. We know exactly how we're representing them. They know how we're representing them. We know how we are representing them. So the transparency, the opportunity for success in our industry for the individual agent that's committed to becoming a professional is going to skyrocket. That's what makes me so excited about this. Guys, we have 5 minutes left on this call. I want to hear some really big takeaways. And yeah, please share. Sherry, first, what is probably one of the biggest takeaways of how we've dispelled the limiting beliefs of the NAR settlement and the impact it has on us as agents?
That it's not going to affect the opportunity, it's not going to limit us.
Okay.
Like the opportunity to just be
Succeed.
successful and help people is absolutely there. And this NAR settlement is not as negative as as they made it out to be. I still believe strongly 100% that this is a people business. And people are not going to want AI to get them through this. They want face-to-face human contact, and they're going to want somebody who they're relying on to be the industry expert to get them through this process.
How does that make you feel, Sherry? Knowing what you just said, your takeaway of like, oh my God, there's actually going to be more opportunity to be successful in this business. How does that make you
Oh my gosh.
feel?
I am like just beyond excited and motivated. There's so much growth, and there's, I mean, just everywhere around us. And so, I can't wait. I wish I could just hit the ground running.
That's awesome. So what we're saying is before, if a NAR settlement may have caused fear for people, we're turning that based on this exercise into excitement, motivation. I mean,
Mhm.
momentum, like I'm jumping out of my
Yes.
chair. I'm ready to do this. Thank you for
Hmm.
that. Great takeaway. Machek, what can you say is your biggest takeaway from this coaching call?
Really, it has less to do with the NAR settlement and more to do with the mindset of the three-step process that you went down, right? And it would be good if you could post a little something in school just as a reminder, since I'm on there all the time,
Mhm.
that look at it, address it, confront it, um, reverse it. What's the positive,
Challenge it,
right? Look
challenge
at
it. Hmm.
challenge it. There you go, and then reframe it. Right? Is
Hmm.
that kind of what I'm getting? And
Hmm.
that right there, really, to anything in life, is what a strategy to like take away your depression or your fears or your, uh, you know, uh, like the like whipping of yourself. Saying, "Oh, it's gonna be bad," or "I did this," or "I did that." No, just take it, challenge it, reframe it.
Yep. Man, I appreciate you guys so much. I got a lot out of this call. I just love doing this. Do you guys think that was a pretty cool model?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I do.
Okay. Well, it's available to everyone. It's in 10 days to a contract. Day one, section 1.3, busting limiting beliefs, and it's right there for you. But talking about it and experiencing it is amazing. Guys, I believe in you so much. It's 12:58. I want to be respectful to everyone's time. If you have any more questions, if you're not in the school community, join the school community. We're going to be bringing a lot of content, a lot of value there. Look forward, get excited about these calls every Thursday, whether you can make it on the phone or a video or just listen in. We are going to be having powerful conversations. And for more information, go to firstagenthub.com. I just want to say I'm honored to be in your presence and I'm so thankful. Guys, thank you so much.